Funeral for a Friend by Mclaughlin-Mills. We are here today to celebrate the life of Sarah Burton, which was cut short by a dreadful accident. Thomas sat alongside his two colleagues, Jay and Olivia, in the fourth aisle, with tears on his cheeks that glistened in the coloured stained glass sunlight. But Thomas couldn't appreciate the loveliness of the day, as all he could feel was the pure frustration and pain in his heart. He lowered his eyes as men in dark suits passed by, carrying a wicker coffin in which the remains of his best friend, Sarah, lay. It was crowned with a burst of yellow and blue flowers, which reminded him of the special field they went to every summer. Suddenly, long, slender fingers rested upon his shoulder. Thomas turned around to see a strange man standing in the row behind him. The man was staring straight at him, and yet it felt like he was staring at nothing at all. His face was milky white and so drawn that it looked like he hadn't eaten in days. His knife-like cheekbones were so incredibly sharp that they looked like they could stab you, and his hair was horribly greasy, as if washed in butter and had never seen a hairbrush. As his dead black eyes stared into Thomas's soul, the man's stick-like arm reached out to him, offering a note. Thomas uncomfortably accepted the note, slipping it into his coat pocket. He was confused as to why no one else noticed the strange man, as he was the only one standing in the entire church. Later that day, Thomas remembered the note and stared at the handwritten scrawl. 01596021666. He spent his whole afternoon pondering on what those numbers could mean, and what they had to do with himself or Sarah. What if it was a phone number? In a flash, he whipped out his phone and dialed the number. It rang. He waited and waited, but no answer. He was about to give up when a woman's voice said, "Hello, Thomas." He was shocked, scared, confused, all these emotions clamped into one. How did she know his name? His heart pounded whilst the anonymous woman continued. "We've been expecting you. Your table is reserved here at Traveller's Rest." A table?" questioned Thomas. "Why, yes. We are a restaurant," replied the woman in a soft, almost sympathetic voice. "Oh, okay," he stammered. Thomas pulled up outside in his car. There it was, Traveller's Rest. The once grand facade was layered with worn black paint and was embellished with beautiful golden swirls. He entered, and inside lay a vibrant red carpet leading to a counter. The walls were concealed in Japanese patterns and carvings, and as he looked around, there appeared to be a strange tension in the room, making him feel ill at ease. Each of Thomas's footsteps felt in sync with his heartbeat. The maitre d' appeared from behind the counter and sprung into action. "Ah, you must be Thomas," he said. "I am," replied Thomas. Thomas followed the head waiter into the huge dining room, where there were at least 50 tables, but only a few people eating. He was escorted to a table for one, sat down, and was then presented with a menu. He read the options. 8 a.m. yesterday, fish and chips. 9 a.m. 2 weeks ago, Mexican curry. 10 a.m. 1 month ago, chicken fillet. Thomas was confused as to why each meal had a date by it, but nevertheless he decided to go for the curry. It was actually rather delicious, but quite inconsequential. He left the eatery to return to his car, but it was gone. He glanced at the clock tower and noticed it had the incorrect time, so he checked on his phone and realised that not only the time, but the date had changed. It displayed the 2nd, not the 16th, and it was 9 a.m, not 6 p.m. He needed to get home to fathom what was going on, and as he had no car, he decided to take the train. Thomas entered the station. He never particularly liked going to it, as he was always so appalled by the litter, and he attempted to look for the right platform, although it was extremely difficult as people kept barging into him. As his eyes scanned the busy station, he spotted something familiar. Huge, vibrant red hair, coiled like a copper spring. He knew who it was immediately. It was unmistakable. It was Sarah. The woman turned around. He was right. For an instant he was filled with joy. Thomas never thought he'd see her again. Then he realised that this was the day she died. This was the day she fell under the train just after 9 a.m. What if I can prevent it, he thought. He was just about to call her name when suddenly a man approached her from behind, pulled out his grubby, stubby fingers from his pockets and pushed her. Thomas looked at the man's face and his heart skipped a beat. He didn't want to believe it, but there was no doubt. It was their friend, Jay. It wasn't an accident at all. It was murder. But why? What reason could Jay have for killing Sarah? Thomas covered his eyes as the train zoomed past, and all he heard was the ear-aching screams of the crowd. If only I had been quicker, he agonised. If only I could go back. What was he to do? Then it hit him. He sprinted as fast as he could, opened the door, ran to a table and sat down. The maitre d' walked up to him. I had a feeling you'd return. What will your pleasure be this time? He inquired with a raised smile. Thomas breathlessly announced, I would like the fish and chips, please. 8 a.m. yesterday.